Well, YouTubers, channel subscribers, I got a surprise for you today. Those of you who've been with me from the beginning are familiar with my JS Products boost controllers. I get a lot of emails still and request to purchase them. I have this stage 1s, which is just a single boost controller. Then I have stage 2 version 1 and version 2, which are dual stagers. Well, I guess you guys are in for a bit of luck because I can no longer keep up. I don't have time to run to the store and purchase the parts. So I'm going to teach you guys the secret to building the world's best boost controller, and that's not patting myself on the shoulder. That's the truth. I've been selling these over the years to dyno shops who tune, and they'll have guys come in with Turbo XS, Hum, and all these different boost controllers, and they're not quite happy with the way the boost controllers are holding the boost, or they're not able to hold it right, and they switch to one of my simple ones and they work flawlessly. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, then go and search my channel and you will find several videos on JS boost controllers. And today I'm going to teach you how to make one for your very own. I actually went to Lowe's and shot footage of the each part required and the part numbers, which is this piece, which is not how this looks when you buy it, but you'll modify it to look like this, the Allen, this piece, a 1/4 inch stainless or steel ball bearing, the spring, and the body. Now, I'll show you the part numbers and the pieces to get all that at Lowe's, but I'm going to show you how to build one here. So pay attention here, and I'm going to show you quick each part, and then we'll get back to building one. Okay, here we are at Lowe's. The body of the boost controller will be made out of one of these. It is a there you can see a little better. There you go. So that's the body that you need to get. Allen bolt, I like to use these stainless steel ones from Lowe's. And 3/8 by 6-16 by 1.5 inch are normally the ones I use. Cheapest place I found and easiest way to get springs are these spring extensions. You want the 1/4 inch. The length. These end up working perfect. For the top part where you'll thread into, I use these 1/4 inch ID by 1/4 inch MIP. And for the thread in bottom piece, you get the 1/4 inch ID by 1/4 inch MIP, MIP. And then for the T-fitting part, 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch FIP, FIP. You've seen the parts. See, I actually still have some bags here with a couple of different pieces in it. That's actually for a version 1 dual stage there. That's a totally different animal. But here's some of the springs that I use, as you saw in the video. And what you do is to make the spring. That's the most important part to this boost controller. And you can't just get away with slapping any old spring in there. And these ones that I picked out was after lots and lots of trial and error and searching. These work the best. So what you do is you take one of these springs and you open the package. Hold on a second, let me open the package here. And the next thing you do is you stretch it out like this. You see, I've pretty much uniformly stretched this sucker out. But we also have to do what's called relaxing it. So what I'll do is I'll take the dikes and I'll actually cut the end off. And I should have dikes in here. Yes, I do. I cut both ends off where I grabbed it So let's cut this end off. There you go. The ends are now cut off. See that? Now to do what I call relaxing the spring, this is going to be a little tricky to show you guys. So I'm going to try to put the camera in such a way that you can see. Okay. Well, the camera don't want to ledge. Let's try this. There we go. Alright. So what I do is, I take a screwdriver similar to this. Actually, it's not the one I like to use, but I'll use it. See if it fits. Yes. You see how that fits over the screwdriver? The spring? I'll push that down and just keep pushing the spring all the way down until the spring has been all the way recollapsed on the screwdriver like this. And let go, and there we go. The spring has now been set and relaxed. That spring will now be usable in your boost controller to actually make this guy. So now that you have your spring set, you get lots of springs out of one of these. Like usually one of them will make me 10 controllers. Alright, for the BB, I didn't show you where to get the BB because Lowe's don't sell these in my area. I have to go to like a Kohl's Hardware, and then they usually have a ball bearing section. They're just 1/4 inch ball bearings. So get yourself those. Everything else I showed you. So take your body. Okay. And one of the tricks to making a good quality boost controller when you buy these bodies is look for one that has that hole down the middle there drilled pretty center. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just start looking through them when you go to Lowe's, and you're going to see ones way off center and crooked and everything. Pick yourself out a good one. Alright? Now I'll mount this here in the vise, just so I can hold the camera. Okay, the next trick is converting that plastic piece that you bought to this. This is very simple. You see how deep this is? Well, when you buy this plastic piece, it's going to be too long. When you thread it in, it would end up sticking up out, you know, like yay much or so. So I take a razor blade, and it's a little tough, and I slice it off. I usually only leave, you know, we got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Around 6 threads, okay? Sliced it off. Next we go is, you know what size bolt you got. You know, you got the Allen bolt. I showed you the part number and the size. You're also going to want to look through your tap and die set and get the right tap for it. I don't remember what tap this is. It's wore off. But you just go off this what the bolt is, and you'll know exactly which tap to get. Alright, and then your tap kit will also tell you what drill bit to use. If you don't know, go with the drill bit that's the next size down from that. And you drill out the center of this. Well, actually, first of all, you remember there was a 90-degree nipple on here. I also sliced that off with a razor blade, flush. Okay? Then you drill that out, and you run the tap through it, and there you go. You have your nylon self-sealing. There's no need on my boost controllers to use a jam nut, because this nylon hugs the threads just right, to where when you set the boost controller, it stays where you put it. All right, you can see I keep showing you this one. This is one of my stage 2 version 1s right here, and I'll get to that in a minute. But you see, it's all I always use the same thing. So basically, then you just end up threading this into the top, and I usually put a little Loctite on it, and stick a little bit of Loctite on the threads and run it in nice and tight. Make sure you don't get any shavings or any plastic pieces or anything down in the boost controller. Keep it nice and clean. But there we go. She's nice. She's snug down there. Okay. Next, what you want to do is put your female one, 1/4 inch female. And if you don't want to run 1/4 inch vacuum line, they make these in a different size vacuum line. But you do have to get the one that fits this. And we thread that on here. Alright, and then of course you snug it real good. Now, here's the other part. This is where you have to seal with the bearing down in there. So what I like to do is I like to drop the bearing in. Now, it's hard with the camera. But I put the bearing down inside. And then I will suck on the end of that hole. And the bearing should end up seating in there so airtight that I can't draw anything through. perfect, because this one's already been built. But a lot of times, when you purchase one of these pieces new, and this is where some newbies make the mistake when they're building these, is there might be a little bit of a ledge or a casting flaw or something down in there, and I really can't get in there too much better than this to show you. Let me see. Yeah, it's just not going to focus. But when you look down in yours, you'll see. Anyway, so what I do then is I have a Phillips head screwdriver that works beautifully for this. I've been using it for a long time. It's actually wore in. But it's the perfect size to stick inside there, and you just hold it. This is if you don't. This is if you can draw some air. If you can draw air past that, and you want to make it sealed, what I'll do is I'll stick the screwdriver in here, and I'll just twist the screwdriver. Of course, I'm holding the other piece with my hand, and I'm twisting the screwdriver using these ends to actually kind of polish. You don't push hard. It's just brass. But I'm trying to polish any lip off down in there. And you just do that with a couple twists, put the BB in and check it until you get a perfect seal. That is one of the little tips and tricks to why some people fail when they build these, and why other manufacturers fail. So they don't make the BB seal or the bearing seal perfect. So now that we have a perfect seal, we end up putting our bearing down inside like that. Next, we want to determine what size spring to use. And I kind of got ahead of myself here, unfortunately, so I'm going to show you now. So what you want to do is you absolutely have to make sure this is snug for this to work. Okay, for this part, next part to work, this does have to be absolutely tight. So let me snug this down. I'm not going to go wrenching on it now, but I like to make them nice and freaking tight. Sorry, I don't have a real good camera, guys. I can't hold it. Alright, she's really tight. Now here's how you determine the size of the spring to use. Let me take this piece back out because I kind of got ahead of myself there. See, remember I have the BB down in there? Yeah. Okay, so we want the spring to end up being flush right there with that lip down there. That lip. Come on, focus, phone. There we go. That lip right there. We want once you stick the spring down in there to be flush. So what I'll do is I'll just take an old screwdriver, stick it down against that BB, right? Mark it with my thumb, lift back up out, and then I know how far down this is. I've measured that lip. So basically then I subtract that amount from this amount, which puts me down into here, which, as you see, is how long the spring is. That gives you a spring length where the spring ends up sitting just about perfectly flush with that lip. You can be a little below it, and that's fine, but being a little bit above it can sometimes cause hanging up issues. Come on, focus. I'm so sorry about this lighting, guys. Okay, anyway. So now that the spring's in there, we can re-put this back in. And then the way these boost controllers work, for those of you who don't understand what a boost controller even does, is when you have a wastegate on a car, the wastegate has a spring in it. Let me snug this and I'll show you. Okay. Let's use this one single wastegate here for an example. Alright, there's a spring in here and a diaphragm. And you see this runs to your manifold or to your turbo. Whenever the boost comes through this line and goes in below here, it's pushing up against that spring. And let's say, for example, the spring in here takes 10 pounds of boost before it moves. When that moves, the exhaust now can go out around and leave the car this way rather than go down through the turbo. And that moving, that valve in there, by that spring moving, is what regulates your boost pressure. The issue is every time you want to change boost pressure, you'd have to change the spring size in here, and that's a lot of work. So what we do is, we take one of my boost controllers, let me put the Allen in here just a couple turns. You put one of these boost controllers in, and you saw how there's a spring in there, and a ball bearing. This basically makes a fancy little check valve. Alright, now let Just cranking it down so it's kind of not sticking out so far. It's probably not anywhere near touching. So what you would do is, you would then come over here and you would connect this bottom one like this, coming to your, going to your manifold, to your turbo. So now the boost pressure coming out of your turbo has to go in past that ball bearing. The tighter you make this down against that spring, the harder it is to move that ball bearing up and out of the way. Once that ball bearing moves up and out of the way, the boost pressure can come around and come out this nipple, which then you would connect to the wastegate. So as you see, what you're doing is you still have the same size spring in here, but now you're able to compress this spring to whatever level you want. So say you have a 10-pound spring in here, and you crank this down to where it now takes 15 pounds, for example, to move that ball bearing out of the way. You've now made yourself in a 15 psi system instead of the spring's 10 psi that's in there. Very, very simple, very handy way to increase boost pressure, and it works with almost any setup. And this is how you build one of my boost controllers. So I've shared this secret with you guys, and I only have one favor to ask. This is very important to me, and I would like for you guys, everybody who thinks that this video was worthwhile, and let's try to make this video one of the best videos on my channel, just to see if we can do it as an experiment. Right now, my How to Turbo Your Honda Over the Weekend video is just kicking butt. It's over 700,000 views. And let's see if we can make this video go viral. Everybody, no matter what car manufacturer, make, model that's into turbos, needs one of these and would like to use one of these and not have to spend all the money for an expensive one. But then you say to me, but I would like one of those fancy electric ones that lets me run more than one boost level. Well, you can do that with these. That's where the solenoid comes in. This is the Hondata boost solenoid. You can Google Hondata boost control solenoid 3-port. They make a 4-port too, but that's a 3-port. And they sell them for $100. All right. Well, good news is I can get you these a lot cheaper. Okay. I have a good connection for the Hondata boost solenoids. So as you see over here, this is my version 1. Version 1 allows us to have 2 boost settings. The reason why there's a nipple here is because this ends up, when the solenoid is off, the manifold pressure just comes in, goes right back out here, and it runs on the wastegates. The wastegates don't get interfered by with this. You flick the switch and change the solenoid. Instead now, the signal comes in, doesn't go here, and it has to come through here and then out to the wastegates, just like I showed you on the other side of the car a minute ago. Now this will be controlling the boost. So I have a switch on my dash that when it's off, runs wastegate. When it's on, runs whatever pressure I set this to. This is version 1. I have a version 2 available, which I'm not selling anymore. You guys have to build them yourself, where instead of putting a plastic nipple here, we stick a second one of these, and then that lets you switch between 2 different boost settings other than wastegate. Follow me? Very simple. There's only one slight difference in how you have to build these when you do a electronic version, and that is, I can't really show you because it's fastened in and I don't have one, but the bottom piece that goes in there, instead of running this piece right here, instead of running this, when you go to Lowe's or whatever, you're going to buy one of these that actually threads here, and it's the threads that thread right into here perfectly. Okay? And I'm sorry I don't have one to show you, but if you guys are half intelligent, you'll know exactly what I mean. It'll have, I just don't have one to show you. Yeah, this isn't it. But I wish I did have one to show you. And like I said, they make these. They make these with different size nipples. Here's one with smaller nipples for maybe your little import car or something that takes a smaller vacuum line. Come on, focus. There you go. You can get these in smaller nipples too. I build them for all different ways for people. Unfortunately, I don't have the bottom piece, but you'll see what I mean. You go to the hardware store, it's going to be shaped inside for the BB still to sit against, to seal against, and then it'll be threaded here to thread into the boost controller. Then you go and get these, and these, especially if you're going to do the version 1 like I have on the car, this is a 1/8 inch MPT by 1/4 inch hose barb. So, because this is 1/8 inch here, 1/8 inch thread. So this will actually end up threading right into there, and then let me put my vacuum line on it. As you see, you need 2 of them. See right there's one at the bottom, and right there's another one at the top, and then that piece I was telling you, and then you can thread the boost controller right on. And that allows me to run my version 1. If you want to do a version 2, you just get one of these plastic nipples, you build 2 boost controllers and get 2 of these pieces in here that's hidden by this stupid band, and you can have 2 boost controllers sticking off this, and it'll let you do 2 settings. Now, to make it look nicer, when you do that, I recommend you get the elbow. You put your 1 boost controller straight on here, and then on this side they make a little 90-degree elbow that lets you thread. It's an 1/8 inch female by 1/8 inch male elbow, 90-degree, and that flips this facing up so that both of them are sitting facing up by each other. And if you watch my video or seen any of the pictures of mine and the other ones, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. They end up having 2 of these kind of sitting side by side because you run the elbow at the bottom. In fact, I should have the elbow in here, but I probably don't. You can also get those in a straight. If these are if you want to have straight fittings instead of the 90-degree elbows. Let me see if I have one of those. Just tying up your guys' time here, but I'm trying to be as thorough as I can for being as scatterbrained as I can be some days. I should have the elbow in here to show you what you need. But like I said before, if you're even half competent, you should know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just a brass elbow, and it'll be the right threads. Take the pieces with you. Nope, I don't, guys. I don't have an elbow. So anyway, that's it. That's how you build a JS Products normal stage 1 and stage 1 version 2, or stage 2 version 1, sorry, dual stage, and then I also explained how to do the version 2 dual stage. And these solenoids, don't go paying the $100 from Hondata. Get a hold of me, email me, PayPal me, and I can get you these for considerably less. I believe I can probably do them for probably 60 something or $70 shipped, something like that. I save you like 30 bucks off buying them from Hondata. All right, 30 bucks is a lot of money. That 30 bucks is what you'll spend on all this, you know, if not less. So that's it, boys and girls. How to make one of my boost controllers. Please share this. Let's get as many views as you can. Let's see if we can get this video to go viral. You know, I'm not hoping for millions of views like stuff that actually deserves it, but everybody should know how to build one of these really good boost controllers. I have guys with, you know, 700, 800, 900 horsepower. This was 900 horsepower. These boost controllers work flawless. There's no reason why you should have to have something that looks all fancy and billet, you know, and when you can do this yourself, and then you have the pride of also saying, hey, I made this. So yeah, make this video go viral for me. Share the heck out of it all over your Facebooks, all over forums. Let's just see how far we can push it in the views wise, just as an experiment. And then this is my gift to you for being such good subscribers and good viewers. Now you know how to build your own boost controller, and you don't need to be emailing me every day asking me to build you one, and you can save yourself lots of money. Email me at lavoy1@gmail.com if you want to purchase a solenoid to convert yours into a version 1 or version 2 electronic. And that's it. Thank you so much. Well, thanks for watching my video. I noticed here, compiling it and watching back, I forgot to add in a little important piece. When you run any of my version 1 or version 2s of the dual stages, you're going to end up having 2 outputs. That confuses a lot of people because, you know, if you have 2 outputs and 1 wastegate, how do you do that? Well, it's easy. You just get a T or a Y, and you run both of these to a T or a Y, and then to your wastegate. It won't matter that they're connected, because when the electric solenoid is off or on, it blocks them from backfeeding to each other in the solenoid itself. But yeah, let's see if we can make this one go viral, guys. And sorry for this crappy webcam crap here. I just compiled a video and realized I didn't add that. Share this. Let's see if we can get this sucker to get some views and to help everybody out. Thank you.